Yes, sir.
Lit.
Hey, it's go time. Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of One Time for the Fan. I am your host, Jack Spade, checking in. And of course, I got the homie, got my co-host with me, Bodie 3000. Bodie, what's good, brother?
Man, what's percolating? Ain't nothing going on, man.
Chilling.
Cooling it.
My brother, it was a beautiful weekend here in Atlanta with the weather. Did you get a chance to get out? Did you get a chance to enjoy some of the city life? Get burnt up in the sun?
Definitely. I just got back from the beach.
What?
I was out there roasting. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I went to the beach, man. You got to clear your mind sometimes. Otherwise, you're going to go insane.
That's true. That is true. Well, I'm glad you had a good time at the beach, brother. Clearing your mind is good. That's what we all need to do, especially coming up with these Falcons. Gonna be a lot of stress.
Gotta clear your goddamn mind. I'll be yelling at the TV and at the games and at the other games all season. I already know it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here.
Not too much going on with the Atlanta Falcons right now. It's been pretty quiet. Also the Braves is on too right now. So I got the Braves game on. We're doing the podcast right now. So this is great. This is working out perfectly. Shout out to everybody who's going to be joining in to the stream. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that follow button, YouTube. Of course, you know we're talking about Arnold Ebiketie tonight. Did I say it correctly? Ebiketie?
Ebiketie.
Arnold Ebiketie. Making sure I got that down correct. Because we're going to be saying that a lot this season, Falcons fans.
A lot tonight, too.
If you missed the Drake London rookie report that we did with Carlo Jimenez from the Pac-12 network, KXSC radio for USC, it was a fantastic show. Drake London rookie report, got a chance to hear from Carlo, who is at USC. He's a journalist. So he was able to tell us his thoughts, his information about Drake London. And of course, with that show doing very well, we have to continue it with the next rookie. And that rookie's name is Arnold Ebiketie. We got Kyle J. Andrews, journalist from Penn State, who's going to check in with us here shortly.
It's lit.
Shout out to Chase. Oh, Turner in the chat. Bodie.
Chase,
I believe so. I believe that is Chase. Ice Cold Wolf in the chat. Hit that like button, hit that share button. You already know we're talking Atlanta Falcons football.
Peace and blessings, dog. Peace and blessings. We out here. It's a
Bodie,
great day.
When Arnold was selected from the Atlanta Falcons, we did the live stream that day. And we were excited to see Arnold being selected from the Atlanta Falcons because the Falcons needed a pass rusher. The Falcons needed a player who can be a future leader on the defense. What's going on, Dave, in the chat? Quick question to you, Bodie. We know you was excited when Arnold became a member of the Atlanta Falcons. Tell me your thoughts now. Have they changed from draft night to now? It's been about 2 months. So any thoughts about Arnold? We were really excited to see Arnold get selected. So give us your thoughts, please, on Arnold Ebiketie.
I mean, if anything, I just get more and more excited each day. Like the more highlights I watch, the more sacks I see that man get, the more anything. Like I just get more and more excited about this cat. And he just got the makers of the future sack leader. It just makes sense. Dude is talented, and he wouldn't be preaching no doctor of pass rush if he wasn't confident. And you got to be confident to be good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm elated. I mean,
doctor of the pass rush.
That's what he calls himself.
Is what he calls himself. Falcons fans, when was the last time you had a defensive player, get drafted by the Falcons and already make a name for himself about his skills of being a pass rusher? It's been a while, Falcons fans. It's been a while. Boo Man, welcome to the stream. I understand you're still in Virginia. Glad for you to be back. One time for the fan, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow button, subscribe. We about to get Kyle J. Andrews in here shortly. So for Arnold Ebiketie, when he was selected by the Falcons, I was excited because I knew that the Falcons needed a pass rusher, a player who, like I said, is going to become a leader on this defensive line, somebody next to Grady who can step up. We need some talent on defense outside of that secondary, which everybody's so high on Richie Grant, everybody's so high on Casey Hayward and AJ Terrell. But when it comes to that defensive line, not too many people was talking about it outside of Grady. Mm-hmm. The linebackers, we've kind of upgraded just a little bit when it comes to the size, strength, if you want to say. We got some big physical linebackers that we didn't have last year. But, Bodie, I'm sure there's going to be a Bodie's breakdown of Dr. Arnold coming up soon. Or hell, this might be the damn breakdown tonight with Kyle here joining us shortly.
Get no bigger than the whole show.
Doesn't get no bigger than the whole show. I'm excited for this rookie report. We get a chance to speak with somebody who's seen Dr. Arnold play versus us, where we're sitting here watching the draft and we're checking the highlights on YouTube.
Yep.
You get to hear from somebody who's a part of that family. You feel what I'm saying? The Penn State family. He's verified. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Kyle because he's going to join us here shortly. Checking in with the chat. Dave is here. Arnold was a first rounder. I'm ecstatic to have that man as a player. Well, we get a chance to see him this season. Preseason, we're going to see him against Detroit. I'm sure he'll play. Jacksonville. Go ahead, Bodie.
I was going to say, from what I'm hearing, if Arnold would have got drafted at the end of the first round, nobody would have batted an eye. Like, it would have been cool. He wasn't a reach or nothing. So, like I said, dude got skills. And we're going to learn. We all going to learn something tonight.
Yeah, you didn't hear his name a lot after the first round. You heard it in the first round. So, I mean, there's a lot of first rounders in the first round.
So, Booman, welcome to the stream. Your thoughts on Dr. Arnold. You was there draft night. We did the draft show. You hit the chat up soon as Arnold was selected. You was excited to see Arnold being selected. Give us your thoughts on Dr. Arnold. What can he do for this team?
Right. Okay. So right when we went receiver, you already knew where we had to go next. You know what I'm saying? And our biggest need to me was pass rushers. I mean, it's been like that for years. So to get Dr. Arnold, if you just watched the man a little bit last year, or if you watch any of his highlights, he sticks out on that Penn State defense, man. So I mean, he has long arms. He's like prototype pass rusher, from a body standpoint. And he gets to the quarterback. So it's like you're ready for what you can see him do for your team because he's going to be an immediate impact. So, I was excited when we got him because I already knew it was between him and, a couple other names that I had out there that I wanted to, wanted us to draft. And we pretty much pulled the trigger on Dr. Arnold. And I appreciate that we actually did our research going into the draft and got a good pass rusher.
Traded up for him, too.
Oh, yeah.
Was the trade worth it? I mean, I went back and I watched the stream. Everybody was excited about it when we talked about Arnold being selected, but the trade was worth it. Absolutely. So far. He should have went first round or the end of the first round from what most people were saying. So the Falcons to trade up in the second round to go get this guy like Jabri was saying on the stream, the Falcons know something we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we're going to find out this season because it's about to go down. Going over some stuff here from Dr. Arnold. Defensive end, 6'3", 256. Earned second team All-American awards from the FWAA. Accepted an invitation to play in the Reese's Senior Bowl. Was named Reese's Senior Bowl All-American. Named first team All-Big Ten by coaches in the media. Earned AP and Pro Football Focus second team All-Big Ten laurels. Was a finalist for the Ted Hegtrix Award. 13 starts. 62 tackles. 9.5 sacks. 17 tackles for loss. 17 tackles for loss.
Crazy.
If he doesn't get to the quarterback, he gets to the backfield. Falcons fans.
He's living back there.
He has a house in the backfield. Week 1 is against the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Jameis Winston.
And no Kamara.
Oh, the news is coming out about Kamara, folks. If you haven't heard, now more reports are starting to come out about the man who, he lost a bet. What happened?
I don't give a shit.
The guy?
He ain't playing us, so I don't care. Personally. Respectfully.
Rush wore down the more he played. He needed a running mate at nose tackle. Everybody's talking about Anthony Rush. Could be a sleeper. He's definitely going to play this season.
Well, he's going to play a lot.
He can play a lot. Grady Jarrett needs somebody next to him. He needs somebody on that O-line. He needs somebody, on that defensive line to help him out. And here's an opportunity for Arnold Ebiketie, D'Angelo Malone, Lorenzo Carter, new guys who Grady has to look to and say, oh, these guys are going to get to the quarterback. And it's going to start during preseason against the Lions. Bodie, just from off of his Penn State tape and his Temple tape, could he get more than 5 sacks here as an Atlanta Falcon? Chat, chime in. Could Dr. Arnold get more than 5 sacks this season? Fowler had 4. Jacob Tolomarina had 2 or 3. Can Dr. Arnold, as a rookie, get more than 5 sacks? Falcons fans. Starting with you, Bodie, please.
I mean, he damn sure got the makeup. I mean, he got moves. That's the thing. He's established already. Like, he's got a couple moves already. He got little digs and little tricks you should have for that veterans don't have. He got some moves. If he could do it, if anybody could do it, he could. He definitely could. I believe in him.
Boo man, more than 5 sacks this season?
I expect him to have that many. Only way I would say he wouldn't if Falcons play like how Georgia did last year, where you don't have a dominant person. He just comes from everywhere, So unless they're gonna have that kind of mentality where you got DMPs, he's gonna send a lot of blitz. So I expect us as a team to get more sacks. Period. But I expect him to be our sack leader. Yes.
Expect him to be our sack leader. Bodie mentioned on Bodie's breakdown with Lorenzo Carter that he expects Lorenzo Carter to get more than 10 sacks. You didn't say lead the team in sacks. You said more than 10 sacks.
More than 10 sacks, yes.
Is that more than 10 sacks?
I said both, actually.
You said both. Oh, well, Hey, Boo Man, Bodie, you guys got something to talk about at the end of the season between Lorenzo Carter and Dr. Arnold.
I believe in Lorenzo.
That's a great competition for them to have against themselves. You know what I'm saying?
So we're gonna get more sacks.
They're gonna be on probably.
At the end of the day, it benefits the Falcons. So I just expect Lorenzo Carter. When it comes to Lorenzo Carter, I just think he's a more established guy, and he'll get the better pass protector. And Ebiketie's gonna have to prove himself, but I think he's gonna come out fire hot anyway. So I don't think Ebiketie's gonna be a person you can just pass protect with one person for a long time.
It looks like it from watching the tape, from seeing the highlights. You're gonna have to double team this guy.
Like
Chuck Smith
You gonna have to let somebody loose, man. If he got in the backfield 17 times lost, and you got Grady Jarrett tackle for lost King, you know, some gonna have to let somebody in, you know. So it ain't too much you can do.
Then, like you said, Lorenzo will probably get the better pass blocker. And Ebiketie, that's just room for him to come in, or Malone to come in. Shoot. I mean, we ain't got Malone yet, but he got the opportunity. Like, and Grady, I mean, come on now. Like, it can happen. It can happen. Arnold can have a great season, his rookie year.
We still haven't spoke about, haven't had a full show on if the Falcons would, sign a free agent. We've talked about it. But there could be a veteran pass rusher to help out this defensive line, to help out a young Arnold. You know what I'm saying? To help out the veteran Grady.
I believe in that. But, the more we get to training camp, closer we get to training camp, the more I believe they want to just put these guys out there and see what they can do.
Okay.
And let them go.
Okay.
I feel like if they wanted to sign a Justin Houston, they would have did it already.
That's true.
So, it's getting closer to training camp time. I feel like they just get out there, young guys, and get better.
I have no problem with that because we don't have to give nobody no contract right now. There's no holdouts. There's no negotiation problems with no player like players like how we had in the past.
Yeah.
But now this is an opportunity for this young defense to eat. A question was asked last week of who's going to be the better on both sides of the ball. I think we said defense. The defense is going to lock down a lot this year. The secondary.
Yes, secondary specifically.
With the secondary locking down, gives an opportunity to your pass rushers, Lorenzo Carter, even if Rashard Evans, stuff that Deion Jones couldn't do last season.
Yeah.
Stuff that Foye didn't want to do last season. I mean, Foye was a fantastic player coming out of
Troy Anderson fast behind, getting back there too, because he's sideline to sideline. That might be the fastest linebacker we got next to Deion.
Sideline to sideline. I haven't seen a linebacker from the Falcons play like that.
Keith Brooking.
Oh man, since the what?
Love Keith Brooking.
Dome days.
Woo!
But we can get that back. Don't worry about the 1-year deals, Falcon fans. These players ain't coming in here to tank it up. The rookies are coming in here to make a statement. Be excited about Drake London. Be excited about Arnold Ebiketie, Troy Anderson, Desmond Ridder, D'Angelo Malone. Be excited about the future of the Falcons, offense and defense. And like tonight's show, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, be excited, like once again, about Arnold Ebiketie. It's the Rookie Report. Kyle J. Andrews is going to join us shortly. Shout out to Kyle for doing this as well.
Yeah, man.
Big shout out to Kyle.
Could be anywhere in the world.
Checking the chat. Heading over here to Dave. Really, I'm concerned about the run defense than the pass rush.
Yeah.
We haven't spoke about that much, but thank you, Dave. You gave us some stuff to talk about as well. Some content.
We got so many new players, man.
We're hoping the new 3-4 with those big physical linebackers is supposed to fit your run defense. That's why we got these. That's why we got these new physical, 6'2", 6'3", linebackers that want to tackle, that can cover the run. You wasn't getting that with Deion and Mackay last season, or Etheridge, or Copeland. You wasn't getting that. Whoever the other linebackers were. Putting them boys on skates. You had that with Campbell.
Yeah.
You had that with Campbell. You had that a little bit with Foye, but outside of Foye, you saw what happened, folks, when it came to the run defense. So if the running back's trying to get uphill, guess what? Troy Anderson and Nick Kwiatkowski, some of those players, they getting downhill.
Numbers.
Jalen Hawkins, Richie Grant, thumpers. Hopefully the run defense steps up big this year. Shout out to Dave in the chat. Heading over here to Turner. Grady and AK are those guys. The time is now. Grady knew the time was here. You saw what Grady did before in the past.
Yeah.
Now this is Grady's new chance to shine with a new defense.
Man.
No more Dan Quinn. No Marquell Manuel. No Raheem Morris. Dean Pease, brother.
Marquell Manuel.
Marquell, man, I know, right?
Yeah, you think about Madden 06 when he was a safety with the Seahawks.
Shout out to Raheem Morris though, man. Shout out to Raheem.
But yeah, and then I just realized. I mean, I kind of knew. I knew he had number 47 already, but like, damn, his nickname AK too, not just Dr. Arnold. His nickname is AK. He was 17 in college, and he chose number 47 so he could be AK 47 in the NFL.
Explosive.
So
why would he choose that? I mean, come on, man. Come on, Falcons fans. He's a pass rusher. His nickname is AK-47, man. I'm going to hype him up before the season starts. You best believe that. I'm going to hype him up. Shout out to everybody here in the chat. Heading to Turner again. AK-47 gets 5. Grady gets 10. Double digits, baby. I'm with that.
I can dig it.
Let's get Boo Man off here real quick till he's finished. Heading over here to Turner. That new secondary is fixing to open up so much pass rush. Because as they lock down on them corners, your man, your cover 1, your cover 2, Richie Grant, Jalen Hawkins, your safeties, that defensive line should eat. You ain't going to have that much time out there, quarterbacks. Don't think everything gravy when you look at the Falcons defense. Bodie, AJ Terrell, Casey Hayward, the lockdown corners. We're going to get to Arnold in a second. We're waiting for Kyle to get in here. But how important is it to see that the secondary is going to lock down and the defensive line can eat? Like we haven't even discussed that. Talk about that, Bodie.
I mean, shit, we saw the numbers. We saw that AJ Terrell and Hayward are like what was it? What was the metrics? It was some kind of metric you showed like weeks ago that they were 1-3, I believe.
Yeah, 1-3 on the Pro Football Impacts report. Yeah, minimum of 400 snaps, and that's Casey coming from a different team, and AJ running with us for so long.
Hey, they've been clamping shit back there. Like they've been on top of their shit. So only thing is we just got to get guys, or we got in guys who ain't scared to get off these blocks. Like, because Fowler, I watched tape on Fowler, and he just, not doing nothing, not getting pancaked. But it just opens up so much for that damn D-line. And the youth. We got so many hungry young guys. And D-line and the O-line, because, the old linebackers, outside linebackers, because P's like to blitz those. It just, the possibilities are endless. I'm getting excited. It's crazy.
We got a lot going on as we get closer to the season. It's going to be amazing, folks. Falcon fans, got our special guest here. Going to go ahead and get him up in here, man. Go ahead and get him up in here.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Mr. Andrews, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you all?
I'm doing great, man. Having a great day. How's your day over there? Were you in Baltimore or
State College, Pennsylvania? So I moved up from Baltimore. I'm originally from Baltimore. Moved up to State College to cover Penn State football and other Penn State sports. They have me covering a bunch of different things for Center Daily Times. So it's been pretty fun. Nice, man. That's exciting.
So you cover a lot of sports there for Penn State. So which one is you say outside of football? What's your second? Would you say? I mean, what was your top 3?
So right now I'm covering like baseball. So they have a formerly a minor league team. They're doing this thing called the MLB Draft League up here. I think it's in 5 other towns too, where you get the top prospects from not the minor leagues, but college prospects, and they play in this MLB Draft League to try to boost their their stock in the draft. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of like the Cape Cod League, or they have the Appalachian League, which is like freshmen and sophomores. This is more, any draft eligible people. So you could get some high school kids sometimes. You get guys that have hit their 20th birthday. I think it's the 21st birthday. I can't necessarily remember, but covering baseball is fun. I actually have been doing that since 2017. I covered the Orioles too.
Nice.
So, baseball was kind of my first love as a kid too, even though, as you all know, the Orioles haven't been too good lately or most of my life, honestly. So
it's just the Cal Ripken years.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, it was like they had a nice run with Adam Jones, like from 2012 to 2016. That was a good run.
I remember.
So yeah, I mean, it was fun. Oh my! Is he asking me about my prediction?
No, I think no, he's talking about the Atlanta Falcons. I'm sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
he's a
Falcons.
Falcons fan.
Yeah.
That's good to know, man. Especially when it comes to Penn State football, because one of the big reasons why you are here is because one of those Penn State players is now a member of the Atlanta Falcons. And as I was doing my research, Kyle, I'm going through, searching Twitter and all the sports sites and YouTube, looking at all the videos and everything. And I've come across your page and I'm like, wait a minute. This guy here is he's real deal when it comes to knowing Penn State sports. So I'm glad you're able to be here to take the time from your day to come and talk to us about what you know about Arnold Ebiketie. So I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you all having me on.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Got a couple questions here for you because for most Falcons fans, when we saw the draft, a lot of Falcon fans didn't really know who Arnold was. They're expecting at that round, they was expecting Malik Willis. And then the Falcons, they do what the Falcons do and select a player that everybody's not expecting. They traded up to get Dr. Arnold. But Falcons defense has to improve tremendously, Kyle. I don't know if you know much about the Falcons defense, but we wasn't that good last year. We haven't been that good in the past few years. So with the Falcons selecting a player like Dr. Arnold, it shows that the Falcons are going in the right direction. We're trying to attack the pass rush, and they want to get a player who can develop at a young age and become a future leader here for the defense in Atlanta. From your knowledge, Kyle, what type of player are the Atlanta Falcons getting on defense?
You're getting a high motor guy. I mean, that's number one. Arnold Ebiketie's going to fight through anything. Probably one of the most physically impressive players I've seen in a long time. Just covering Big Ten football, because I covered Maryland before, and they had some guys. They had Yannick Ngakoue, and I can tell you right now that Arnold Ebiketie, to me, although Yannick Ngakoue looks like the more physically imposing guy, Arnold Ebiketie, he's cut. Like, this dude, he looks like when, I don't know if you all saw like the old like Arnold Schwarzenegger posters back in the 80s and stuff. Yeah. But that's how the dude looks. Like, he's cut. Wow. He's he's fast. That's another thing too. He can, he's running with receivers sometimes. I mean, it's pretty similar. It seems to me like
nice
with Ebiketie, he's kind of like the Ravens selected Odafe Owe last year, and it seems very similar to that. Although biggest difference is that Arnold Ebiketie was at Temple prior to coming to Penn State, so he only had this 1 year at Penn State, but this was his most productive year. When he was at Temple, he was taking on double, triple teams at times because he was so good and he was so physically dominant. And then when he comes to Penn State, he just, his body got in a completely he was already a physical freak, but the guy, he completely changed his body overnight coming to Penn State and took it upon himself to become, one of the best defensive ends in the Big Ten too. I mean, that's a lot to say. I mean, you got to think they had David Ojabo, who another guy that the Ravens drafted at Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson, also in Michigan.
Yeah.
And Arnold Ebiketie was right there with those guys at times. I thought if they had another pass rusher on the opposite side of him to a similar level, maybe I'm thinking he's getting 13, 14 sacks in college. I mean, but NFL, as everybody knows, is a totally different monster. So, we'll see. But I mean, with his work ethic, his motor, his hustle, I think he's going to be a very good player. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in a couple Pro Bowls as well.
So you hearing that, Bodie?
Yeah.
Falcon fans, for those that's tuning in now, for those going to tune in later, you're hearing Kyle Andrews give us his thoughts about Dr. Arnold. And Falcon fans, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. The Falcons needed a pass rusher. Don't be upset because they didn't select your quarterback in round 2, or they didn't select your linebacker from Georgia in line 2. We're Georgia guys. But when they selected Arnold, we already knew that the Falcons were getting a Dean Pease guy. And Dean Pease likes linebackers. He likes safeties. He likes edge rushers. And Dr. Arnold can feel a lot. Hearing that he can run with wide receivers, a lot of defensive players don't really do that. They like to stick to the script of what they're doing. But certain players like to stand out. Hearing Arnold do that, or seeing Arnold do that from Kyle's perspective, that's pretty cool. Because Dr. Arnold is showing that he's a physical edge rusher. We need a guy like a John Abraham, like back in the day. We didn't get that with Vic Beasley. We got it with one season, but it was a bust. Tack McKinley, same way. And we don't want to talk about Jamal Anderson from back in the day, the other edge rusher the Falcons tried to draft.
No,
a lot of edge rushers and a lot of outside linebackers just didn't work out for the Falcons. But this is a guy who we think is going to come in here and make a change for this team. So thank you, Kyle, for that answer for that question. Speaking about Temple, Bodie, second question is on you, sir. So we can continue this interview here about Dr. Arnold with Kyle J. Andrews.
Yeah, Mr. Kyle. You spoke on it in your last answer a little bit, but just going back to speaking on his 3 years at Temple, when he had only 6 sacks and 10 tackles for loss in 3 seasons and whatnot, and then he came to Penn State and he gained 9.5 sacks with 18 tackles for loss. You touched on it a little bit, but I just wanted to hear you say it. What does that say about the type of player that he can potentially become for this team?
When you put the talent around him, he's going to get to the quarterback. And I look at it in the same way. Odafe Owe, I don't know if you all were familiar with what happened with his last season at Penn State, but he had 0 sacks. And part of the reason why he had 0 sacks was because nobody else was getting to the quarterback, and they're sitting there, double teaming him. And I mean, he's taking up most people. I mean, it was a number of other guys that got sacks on that team, but that Penn State team wasn't one of the best. Penn State teams I've seen. They were, they had some trouble. That was back in 2020, 2021. Arnold Ebiketie comes in, and that's the thing. That defense that if I'm not mistaken, well, Virginia Tech's new head coach, I'm completely going Brent Pry, Brent Pry, who was Virginia Tech's new head coach. He isn't the type of guy that's gonna send the house at quarterbacks either. So for you to be able to get 9.5 sacks, that's huge. That's really big. So it's not even just scheme. We're talking about a guy that can produce without the scheme being dependent on his talent. He doesn't need to be dependent on the scheme. And I think that's the biggest thing about him. He doesn't have to worry about whatever scheme it is. And I know about Dean Pease's defenses as somebody that grew up in Baltimore,
right?
Yeah. And he won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, but he had a read and react defense.
Yeah.
Very similar to Brent Pry's defense, except that it's a 3-4 hybrid-esque defense. So you'll see a little bit of 4-3 packaging in there as well. It's not too aggressive. So, Arnold Ebiketie fits into that perfectly. He's the type of guy that's going to, mold himself into whatever you need him to be, number one. If you want him to be a hand in the dirt defensive end, he'll go and do that. He might be a little bit, undersized or whatever as a 4-3 defensive end. But if you're talking about a 3-4 guy, who's standing up as an outside linebacker, he's imposing. And the thing is, too, I've seen it. I'm not trying to get everybody's hopes completely up, but I'll say this.
Oh, we're Falcons fans. Trust us. We've been down a lot of boats before. Trust
I hope I don't even want to go.
Physically, I'll tell you something. Him at 6'3", almost 260 pounds, he's cut like that. Reminds me of Terrell Suggs a lot. It reminds me of Terrell Suggs. Now, I will say that I don't know if he's as strong as Suggs was, because Suggs was a damn good bull rusher when he first came into the league.
What about DeMarcus Ware?
I like that comparison too. I like it, but that's the thing. I want to, I think Arnold, if he's put in the right positions to succeed, which I know, that defense is a hard defense to learn. If you're a young player coming into the league, that Dean Pease defense, that's tough. Even as a defensive lineman who, you got to know the gaps, and it's not much gap in coverage and all this stuff. I mean, he's gonna have to know some coverage as an outside linebacker as well. But how many times are you gonna send Arnold Ebiketie in the coverage, even though he can stick with those faster guys, like I said before? You don't necessarily need to do that if you have the right pieces surrounding him. So I think he's going to be very successful in the league. From what I saw from him in this 1 year that I've covered the team, and I've been following the team for a little bit now before that too. He stood out to me as probably, they had a lot of great defensive players, and Arnold Ebiketie might have been the best one. That's the craziest part about it. And I'll tell you what, Jair Brown and Jaquan Brisker, those two safeties, they were outstanding. But Arnold Ebiketie was sitting there causing problems every day. He was an issue. I mean, he was the toughest guy to block on any given Saturday.
Falcons fans, I hope you hear this. That's a lot just about one player. I mean, going into Dean Pease' system, like you said, it's not the easiest system to learn. Dean Pease, and we talked to Dean Pease, Bodie, when we had him on. I asked him the questions a couple weeks ago at the OTAs. Dean Pease he loves this defense, this young defense. They definitely went to Pease and asked him, "Look, what do we need going into day 2?" Of course, doing their scouting, they had already mentioned Dr. Arnold a long time ago. They've been watching Dr. Arnold. So now that he's a member of the Falcons, we get a chance to see that high-motored guy get a chance to wow this Falcons fan base. Because we don't have that on the defensive line, folks. He did it in college. He's going to get a chance to do it here now with the Atlanta Falcons. Bodie, you had another question, too, for Kyle as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a quick hitter real quick. You had to describe him in one word. What would that one word be and why?
Capital E for explosive. He's the reason why it's because he just jumps off the page. When you see his name written on a depth chart, you're like, yeah, that guy's getting a sack today. He's attacking, and he's athletic. He's like one of the most athletic guys I've seen in college football. Nice. And I'm not just saying this, but you got to be if you're second round pick, right? You can't be a scrub and be a second round pick.
That's true.
And this dude, he if he had fell, I'll tell you what, him and Ojabo, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I don't know had he fell to the Ravens when they got Ojabo, if Ebiketie was there healthy, and you got to choose between him and an injury, Ojabo coming off the Achilles injury.
Yep.
I'm going Ebiketie for at least for that first year. I don't know how. I think Ojabo will be fine. Like he'll be up to the task of being a great guy and a great player alongside Odafe Owe. But Ebiketie, that dude's he's a problem. He's an issue, and that athletic. Like I said, the explosiveness that's going to show up day one. They don't even need to do if he just says go get to the quarterback. I'm not even giving you anything, and I haven't even mentioned his intelligence as a pass rusher.
That's true.
Yeah, because he's one of the most skilled pass rushers I've seen. With Penn State specifically, but he's using hands, he's using different types of swim moves, spins, a stutter step when he's going after the quarterback.
Wow.
He's a very intelligent pass rusher, guy that will fit in immediately to Dean Pease's defense because the guy's smart. Nice. He's a very smart player, so that's something. And he's a stand-up guy too. Everybody on Penn State seemed to love him, as a teammate. So he's a very good culture guy. Everybody is always talking about we want that culture player.
Good locker room guy.
Yeah, great locker room guy. Nice. Not heard not one bad word about him. So and in addition to all the athletic talent that he has, he's going to be a great teammate too. So I think you all love him down there. He's gonna be a great player for you all if things go the way that they're supposed to.
Love it. And
Hearing the word explosive, that's big because we need that player on defense next to Grady. And we know Grady's explosive. We remember when we went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago, that defense that we had, I mean, it wasn't the greatest in the NFL, but all 53 players, all 11 players on that defense when it was on the field had the same mindset. It was all in the same zone. We're trying to get back to that. Vic Beasley was having a great year. Jesus Christ, Vic Beasley. Who's not even supposed to mention that name on the show. Dwight Freeney came over. That's why I'm still talking about the Falcons bringing in a veteran pass rusher. Bodie, they might go with the squad that they're seeing right now. But if they do bring in a veteran pass rusher, it's somebody to help a Dr. Arnold, somebody to help a D'Angelo Malone, and some of the younger guys. But hearing explosive, I mean, those are the words. That's one word you want to hear from an edge rusher that like you said, when you see him on the depth chart, he's going to get a sack. Oh, man. Well, we got the Saints week 1, baby. You feel what I'm saying? I'm ready to see Dr. Arnold explode and become that pass rusher that everybody could be, fearing in the NFL. Like you said, a couple Pro Bowls, I'll take it. That's solid enough to show me that he's doing better than what Fowler did when he came over here. Took the bag and ran with it. Steven Means, Jacob Monera, whatever their names is, we didn't have a pass rusher, and now we have a chance for Dr. Arnold to show this fan base that he's really that good. So, Kyle, I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that answer.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, like I said, I've seen the guy play. I don't know how many times. He does everything you need him to do, plus more. And it's got to show up. Like I said, if it doesn't show up in a stat sheet for him specifically, it'll show up for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I noticed with him was that, if he wasn't getting his sacks, guys like PJ Mustipher, who's the defensive tackle for Penn State, he would get his sacks. Or you got middle linebackers and other outside linebackers getting their sacks as well.
Because everybody's so focused about Arnold over there on the edge.
Exactly. I mean, they had a ton of guys, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, if Arnold Ebiketie wasn't there, how much less productive would that defense have been? Yeah. And and I think now going forward, they have a pretty good, they're starting off real well now with some of the transfers that they have in. But last year's defense, it would have been tough. So that was a great defense. So, Arnold Ebiketie getting 9.5 sacks on one of the best defenses in college football. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at, especially playing against, as you all know, Big Ten offensive linemen are crazy.
That's true.
Those are some big dudes.
Yeah.
I'm 6'7" myself, but some of those Big Ten O linemen, they got a lot of weight on me. They're huge guys. They 320, 330, putting full force on guys. And, Arnold was able to make them look silly, with the speed moves. And then when he was going up against Auburn, he was putting on power moves because Auburn O linemen are a little bit quicker and have, quicker feet. And, between those two, I watch Arnold play against, Auburn, watch him play against every single different school you could think of, Ball State. If he didn't get his sack, somebody else close to him was getting that sack, or somebody else, he was causing for somebody else to get, a tackle for loss, things like that. He was there every time. And you can't, like I said, you can't replace that.
Well, that's good to know that Arnold's making players around him better. And that's just in college. Going to the NFL stage now, that's definitely going to have to work some way, somehow with these Atlanta Falcons, especially on defense. Because, like DMP said when he talked to us, a lot of missed opportunities last season. They only used 60% of their playbook and of their players too as well. So now they get a chance to open it up to 100%. They got the players that DMP's wanted for his defense. And to know that, like I said, Dr. Arnold is probably going to come away with, like you said, Bodie, 5 or more sacks this season.
I think so.
It's very possible. Or there's going to be some players around who's going to have 5 or more sacks.
Absolutely. And it was interesting when you said that he adjusts to like you said, Auburn had quicker linemen, so he did more power. And you don't get that with linemen in the NFL. They don't adjust. Some just got one trick pony. They just do the same thing. They just try that. But to come out of college, I don't ever remember, because I used to be heavy on college, covering college players too. I don't ever remember players coming out of college being as polished as he is, like you said, and just smart. That's just smarts right there. You just outsmarting your opponent, and that's that. I'm excited. I'm very excited to hear about that. Just wanted to say that.
I mean, he looks, like I said, very polished on the field. One of the, smoother players that I've seen. And keep this in mind. He had 2 sacks against Michigan, and everybody knows how Michigan did this season.
Yeah.
And I mean, he popped off the page multiple times. I mean, that Illinois game, Penn State lost to Illinois, as you all know, in that the longest college football game ever, most overtimes ever. It was like 9 overtimes.
Yep.
I was there. That was miserable.
Oh
I never want to cover a game like that ever in my life again. It was awful. I'm sitting there watching these guys get smacked every 2 seconds right at the goal line. That wasn't fun to watch, but it was fun to watch Arnold Ebiketie, and it was fun to watch him. I mean, like I said, he stood out in a bunch of different games. He had that Iowa game where he only had 1 sack, but he had 3.5. What was it? 3.5 tackles for loss.
Tackle for loss. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he looked pretty good in that game. Then he had that Rutgers game where he had a sack, and he had a tackle and a half for a loss. 2 tackles for loss in that Wisconsin game, as you all know. He had a sack in that game too.
Yep.
Wisconsin's offensive linemen, some of the most imposing physically offensive linemen in college football. So for him to be able to do that as a guy that's quote unquote undersized, I don't really think he's undersized, because I've seen other guys like him in the NFL be successful.
Yep.
Doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, Aaron Donald's like 6'1". That's what I mean. People don't understand that. If it doesn't matter, you could be 6'1", you could be 5'11". Elvis Dumervil was 5'11", and he was causing issues for people. So, you don't need to be the tallest guy. You don't need to be the strongest guy with the longest arms. Yeah, the strongest guy. And Arnold Ebiketie might be the strongest guy. That's the thing. So I mean, you won't necessarily have to worry about that. But I mean, the speed is there, and the power is there, the quickness is there, the technique. Yeah. And if you have all those things already, and you have the intelligence, I mean, you're getting to the quarterback. So I look at him and I'm like, I think his ceiling, to me, sacks wise, I think he could be a 12, 13 sack guy. Jeez. And I mean, if you put him in the right situations and you tell him to pin his ears back, get to the quarterback. And I know Dean Pease, everybody, this is the thing. A lot of people in Baltimore fell out of favor with Dean Pease, mainly because I think it seemed to be a disconnect between what the front office was trying to give the defense versus what Pease wanted. And it seemed like when he first got there, everybody's like, dang, man, this defense, I mean, it's not the same, because as you all know, the Ravens had Chuck Pagano. Chuck Pagano came from that Rex Ryan mold. I'm going to go attack the quarterback as much as I possibly can. Yeah. And I'm just going to go kill the quarterback. That was all they did. And then you go to Dean Pease, and Dean Pease is telling everybody, wait, it's read and react. You got to sit here, read the spots. And a lot of times, I mean, that worked. It worked in that, in that playoff, what was it? The 2 playoff games against Brady and Manning. What they would do is that they would put a spy on Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Everybody's like, why would you put a spy on 2 quarterbacks that can't run? You got Ray Lewis reading their eyes the whole time, knowing where the play's going. So now he's directing people before the play's even coming out, because he's sitting so close to the line of scrimmage, just reading their eyes. Wow. And that's the kind of stuff that Dean Pease is going to bring to you all's defense, is that he's going to have, it's going to be more reading the quarterback's eyes, seeing where the play is going. You're going to have a lot of intelligent players. And like I said, Arnold Ebiketie fits into that perfectly, because he's going to know where things are going before they even start.
It's good hearing that. because you're hearing it from now as a player who's now fitting Dean P's scheme to, a journalist who knows about Dean P's scheme. You feel what I'm saying? As you covered the Ravens, you're a Ravens fan, correct? Like you're a Baltimore Ravens fan?
I grew up a Ravens fan. I used to go to training camp when I was a kid. I was like 2 when the Ravens came, so I've been watching them ever since I was 2. So my grandparents' next door neighbor was a Ravens equipment manager, so I got a long history with the team.
Nice. You talked about him being intelligent, and of course, Dean P needs intelligent players to fit this type of scheme. Now, for Arnold, Chuck Smith, Falcons legend, he doesn't verify a pass rusher unless he verifies a pass rush, and he's worked with Dr. Arnold. And Falcon fans agree with a lot with what Chuck Smith says to the fan base and to the Falcons media. Chuck Smith, he worked with Dr. Arnold. He said this is pass rush family. For him to say that Dr. Arnold is pass rush family, that's big because he approved Dr. Arnold. You understand? And Chuck Smith was a great pass rusher for the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. Now, for you, Kyle, you seen Arnold play. You gave me some highlights already. You gave me some information about the game versus Ball State or Illinois. The Michigan 1-2 as well. What highlight, what play, what game did you see Arnold play where you said he's going to be in the NFL on Sunday?
It was that first sack against Wisconsin. When I saw him play, and I was like, dang, he right off the bat like that against Wisconsin. And that was the thing. Wisconsin, as bad as you could say that quarterback play was, that during that game, most of that was because Mertz was looked crazy because Arnold Ebiketie was giving him fits. And then I saw the way that Ebiketie got to him, and then another play when he tackled the running back in the backfield, and I'm like, this is who Penn State has now.
Yeah,
like this is the guy that you guys were talking about.
And like you said, you've seen a lot of players defensively come through Penn State. So yeah,
they got some great players. That's the thing. Penn State is a defensive school. They've always been a defensive school. As much as as great as Saquon was, as great as I would say defense and running backs. That's a little bit. Yeah, definitely defense and running backs. But that defense now. When you got guys like Arnold Ebiketie, who is like, I want to come to Penn State so I can up my draft stock. I want to come to this place. Yeah, I want to come to these schools that up my draft stock, and they see it. Arnold Ebiketie left, and then you get guys like I want to say his name is Chop, we call him Chop Robinson, but he's from Maryland. He actually transferred from University of Maryland to go to a rival school at Penn State because he was like, I know this is the school that's going to get me to the league.
Yeah.
This as a defensive end / outside linebacker, I know I'm getting into the league if I come to Penn State.
Just the name alone, that's what they top 3 in the draft pick, the top 3 rounds. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do it all the time. They have. I can't tell you how many Penn State defensive linemen that I've seen that are like, yeah, these guys, they're the truth. So, I that's what I think about Arnold Ebiketie. I think he's another guy who, even though he went to Temple those 3 years before, he comes to Penn State, and this dude's looking like he's been there for 4 years already. He looks like he's a redshirt senior. like he came up, high school. They recruited him, all that stuff, and that's the kind of guy that's gonna come to Atlanta too. A guy that's gonna fit right into the culture right off the bat. And
that's what you need.
Not piss anybody off except for the other team. He's definitely gonna piss the other team off. He's gonna give offensive coordinators fits because they're gonna have to block him. Sometimes they might have to double team him. This is the type of guy that I think he can have a similar year to what Odafe Owe had with the Ravens. And I'm not just saying that because I watched him at Penn State and then turn around and watch him with Baltimore. But I think 5-6 sacks is reasonable for Ebiketie to have his first season. And I think the year after, when you get more
familiar with the system and familiar with yourself,
with the system, he's gonna be able to explode the next season. So I think this year don't get too crazy with the some guys are like, oh yeah, they're gonna come in and have 10 sacks. That's unrealistic.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get 6, 7 sacks, I mean, if he got 4 sacks, that's what rookies do.
Yeah,
that's what rookies do. I'm not upset with it because he's learning. He's gonna learn. I mean, it's a tough defense to learn. So I'm not. If I was everybody in Atlanta, I wouldn't get upset about 4 or 5 sacks. That's the sweet spot. That's what you want. If he does more than that, I mean, you got a great one on your hands. That's in my opinion.
Nice.
You start out your rookie year and you get like 7. If you get 8 sacks your rookie year, just expect to be a problem. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, future Hall of Famer probably. So, I mean, if he can do that, sky's the limit for him. I think he's gonna be great regardless, whatever he has that rookie year, because I know he's the type of guy that's gonna, if he doesn't do what he sets out to do that first time around, he's gonna put his nose to the grindstone and try to be the greatest player he can be, and that's who he is. That's just the type of guy he is.
I like hearing this, Bodie, because we did the Drake London Rookie Report with Carlo, right? And so fans didn't know what to expect when Drake London was selected, but then you heard it from Carlo, who was he's a journalist for USC Sports, KXSC Radio, and then now you're hearing the second pick now, Dr. Arnold. This is getting Falcon fans more excited. This is getting me to sit there and think about it and say, damn, Dr. Arnold can really lead this damn defense to becoming what we need to be, a top 15 defense in this league. We're at the back of the pack the past 4 years, 25th through the 32nd rank. It's time to break that. And now we're bringing in players who could assist us by getting us past that mark that's been hurting us for so long. We heard about a lot of strengths so far with Dr. Arnold. What would you say his biggest challenge is as a rookie coming into the NFL for Dr. Arnold? What do you think his biggest challenge would be, Kyle?
I think his biggest challenge is, you want to keep O-linemen's hands from inside of you, and I think sometimes that can happen with him just because of how, he's not the longest guy. It's not like a 6'5" dude is out there. He's 6'3". So sometimes, I mean, O-line, taller, stronger O-lineman, I mean, that's very rare that you get an O-lineman that's way stronger than him in college. I mean, in the pros, that could be totally different, but you get a guy that's like 6'5", 6'6", and they get their arms extended on him. I think they could stymie him sometimes. And I think that's the biggest weakness, but the thing is, he's so fast that if he's like a wrecking ball. If he gets some momentum on him, and you line him up a little bit further back, like if he's standing up, the thing is he's gonna run straight for you. And if he's already running, he's already out of his stance. He hits right into you. He could throw his shoulder at you, and then he's knocking you off balance. This is a guy that doesn't even need to extend his arms to get the leverage on you. He could just throw a shoulder at you. But if somebody gets on the inside of him, you get a strong O-lineman like for instance, like if you got a guy like Quentin Nelson that got his hands on the inside of him, it's over. But that's a lot of guys, and I think that's the biggest thing about coming in from college to the NFL is that you got to get used to those NFL offensive linemen. They are a different breed. Everybody always talks about how, I mean, I played O-line in high school. I could tell you right now, O-line's the hardest position. I'm not just saying that because I played it, but like it was tough. It's so tough. You got to watch guys, as a left tackle, you sit there and you got to go against the best defensive ends in the world or the best pass rushers in the world. I mean, and then the thing is, like, these O-linemen that are in the NFL right now, these guys they've done it against everybody. Even the worst ones, even the guys that are the bench warmers, they're some of the best. They're the best at their craft. So, I think Arnold, his biggest thing is like he's got to learn how to leverage against some of those taller guys that they have the hand positioning. Because even if they don't have the best technique, they might slip off of their, on their blocks or whatever. But if they get their hands on the inside of them, even if they're extended like that, I mean, it's tough for him to move. And that's the biggest thing that I think might be his, that's the one weakness that stands out to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, and then maybe height too. Like, I mean, we talked a little bit about height. I don't think it'll be a huge issue for him because, like we said in the past, other guys have been shorter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's that short. It's not like the dude is, we're not acting like he's, we're not acting like he's a oompa loompa. So, he's not that short.
Yeah. If Elvis Dumerville can get sacks
Right.
consistently in the league, then that man is good. I ain't worried
Exactly.
about it.
So,
and the other thing too is I'll throw this out there. He's a little bit narrow in his base, and I think that's one thing. That's one thing a lot of college defensive linemen, they have lean legs.
Mm-hmm.
They look like Captain America before he got the super soldier serum. So, sometimes I think that's another thing. You got to have strong legs coming into the NFL, and I think he actually did that. Like coming in when I saw him at the pro day, his legs look more muscular.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even think that'll be a problem. I think college a lot of times they want you to do a lot of workouts that keep you in really good shape. You're in the best health that you could possibly be in.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, you might not be the best athlete that you could possibly be when it comes to like just explosiveness. They're just training you for your specific position. And sometimes you want to have these huge legs, but you still want to keep the functionality. Mm-hmm. And that's something that he did during his pro day. Like right before his pro day, he bulked up in his legs and you could tell a ton. And I think he's going to be better for it in the league.
Bodie?
Yeah, man.
Well, I'll tell you, man, we are so excited about Arnold Ebiketie. Like, the season can start tomorrow. We're there. Training camp starts in a month. These challenges or, these somewhat weaknesses, stuff that he needs to improve on, Dean Pease will get it right. And if he doesn't, he'll get it right next year. But I do think that Dr. Arnold is going to be a big piece of this defense. I do think that Dr. Arnold, anywhere between 3 to 8 sacks is perfectly fine with me. Like Kyle said, he's going to make players around him better. Grady is triple teamed damn near 80% of the time on the field.
Yes.
And if Grady's getting triple teamed, and Dr. Arnold might be getting double or triple team over here, somebody's about to get to the quarterback. All those missed opportunities that Dean Pease told us at OTAs, now you get a chance to fix those missed opportunities. Those were the chances where we could have had that 2nd and 3 turn to a 3rd and 7, or that 3rd and 7 turn into a punt. But the play extended. The drive kept going. 18 sacks we had? What? 15 sacks? 16?
18. It was 18.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's an NFL defense. And to know what Arnold did in college, so what he can do to this defense now, do anything better than what Dante Fowler just did the past 5 years. 3 years. Jesus Christ. Like, help us out here, Dr. Arnold. But Kyle, one more question for you. He's played on the big stage in Penn State. You guys hold what, 100,000 plus in that stadium?
I would say, what is it, 110?
Mm.
I think it's 110. I think the most that I've seen is 108,000 they've had at the stadium. Beaver Stadium's huge.
Can you give us your thoughts? It's 110,000, and you guys do like a whiteout game too, right? Where everybody just
yeah, they do a whiteout. They also do that stripe out, but that's not the same level. It's not the same.
How crazy is that at Penn State? Like, how crazy?
Man,
is that?
It's loud. See, that's the thing. So I didn't grow up a Penn State fan. My fiance, she's a Penn State alum, and she's actually going here for a master's program.
Nice.
But I mean, she told me before I even came to the game, I remember my first Penn State game was 2019 against Purdue. It was homecoming, and Purdue, they're a pretty solid program, but everybody's like, nobody's gonna show up for a Purdue game. That stadium was packed to the brim for a Purdue game because it was homecoming. I mean, partly because it was homecoming, and the other thing is they're coming for every game. They had like 110,000. What it was, 100-something thousand for the Villanova game? Are you kidding me? That doesn't make any sense. Everybody's coming because all the people from Philly driving 3 hours to get to State College because State College is smack dab in the middle of the state.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got, the other people coming in from Pittsburgh that are all Penn State fans.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody all in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a Penn State state.
Not Pittsburgh. Penn State.
Not the University of
Penn
Pittsburgh.
State. Look, Pitt.
Okay.
People in Pittsburgh, they love Pitt. But I will also say that it's probably like, I'd say it's like 60-40 Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still the fact that it's 40% Penn State is still crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they got a school right in the city. Temple nowhere to be found. People love Temple basketball. Temple basketball is the truth. Like that's what people love. They love Villanova basketball, but none of those football. They have no football over there that stacks up with Penn State. And Penn State is king in college sports here in Pennsylvania. Even we could talk about Nova basketball. Nova basketball is outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
They won their couple national championships the past couple of years with Jay Wright, but Penn State football it's
everything.
That's everything. It's like Georgia football down there.
Georgia football.
Georgia football
right about
is the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. I know. Look, I know SEC. I know SEC football because my dad's and he lives in Arkansas. He's from Little Rock, and so Arkansas, football is crazy down there. That SEC football is a different breed because Auburn. That's another thing.
You guys play Auburn. Penn State plays Auburn, right?
Yeah, they play Auburn again this year because they're doing a home and home series. And Penn State, like I said, usually it's 107,000 Penn State fans in the stadium, and probably like 20, 30, or what is it, 300 maybe, fans of the other team. But then when Auburn came, man, Auburn brought probably like they brought a whole section with them. Mm-hmm. They took a whole section with them all the way down to the bottom of the stadium, and I'm like, yeah, that's SEC football right there.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Different breed. It's a different breed.
If Georgia does play there, it's I tell you right now, Georgia fans they
might be
pay
half
anything.
the stadium.
They will pay anything.
Half the stadium. I know. Georgia fans, you all got it. I'm telling you all got it. And then I've heard about
town when it comes to the Bulldogs.
I've heard about the food too. I've heard about the food.
Of course.
Yeah.
Have you been to Atlanta?
I've been to Atlanta.
Okay. Have you been to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium? Have you seen the
I've never been to the stadium though. Never been to the new stadium. I went to the old stadium though.
No, the Georgia Dome. Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're trying to become Title Town with the Braves. The Dogs is about Bodie, 45 minutes to an hour from us. We can take 78 straight up to
45 minutes.
We don't have to get on the highway. We can just take it straight, not too far from us. But the Braves is about 30 minutes from us too as well. So nobody really looks at Georgia Tech anymore. It's all about the Dogs, and it's all about the Braves, and then the Falcons too as well. Of course, the Hawks with Trae Young, all that excitement. Atlanta United, the soccer team.
I'm glad
there's a lot going on
to
here.
Look forward to
It's
in
a
basketball.
lot. It's a lot. You got to spend a whole a good amount of time when you're out here. You can catch everything, y'all. Mostly in the fall. Atlanta United will still be playing in September.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, basketball will starting up. Braves will still be playing. Georgia Bulldogs will be getting underway. So try to catch all those games if you can.
Basketball will be back too, close to it.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm a Wizards fan, so the same division. So I might have to come down for a game or two.
Let us know, man. Let us know.
There.
We'll take you out in the city, let you see what's going on. You said you're a Ravens guy, right?
Yeah, I'm a Ravens guy.
The Falcons playing the Ravens Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah.
You there?
Yeah, of course. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be for sure.
So, Bodie, he doesn't know, does he? One time for the fan is there.
We coming.
Okay.
So I'll be there. Hopefully, Bodie will be with me. Bodie's coming with me the week before the New Orleans, but I'm going to every away game. So I'll be at the Baltimore game.
That's Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I might have to be there then. I'm gonna be home. We'll be in Baltimore.
Show me around.
I gotta show you all around.
Bodie, please. Come on out and show us around, man.
Baltimore is a beautiful city. We get a bad rep just because the wire.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah. People told me they said stay next to the pier or stay close to the waterfront, and then that's it.
Don't go to the pier. Don't go to the water, like the harbor. The harbor is
the harbor. The harbor. That's what they say go to.
That's the thing. The inner harbor.
Nobody
in Baltimore. That's the thing.
This out.
It's gonna be
Straight from the
Fed
source.
Hill, Fells Point, Canton,
Yeah.
Hamden, those kind of places. And then you want to get good food, that's over in West Baltimore. West Baltimore has the best food in I would say in the Northeast. People try to say, we got New Yorkers always telling us, oh, you all aren't Northerners, you're from the South. I was like, look, if we can make food as good as you all down there, we would be the South. But look, the food is pretty good in Maryland.
It's
I'm not
pretty
gonna
good.
sit up here and lie.
So
That
what's your
seafood-
dish? Crab cakes?
Crab cakes, yeah, crab
Yeah.
cakes, and then we got this thing called pit beef.
Okay.
It's a type of barbecue. It's pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, that's Baltimore's own thing. They cook what is it, beef in this pit.
Mhm.
They make like put it underground,
Mhm.
and then they cook it, and then it's like a slow roast. You put like I know people think this is crazy, but you put like onions and horseradish on it with barbecue sauce. That sounds wild.
No,
But it's good, though.
How
It's
chefs
the
do,
truth.
man. That's delightful. Can't beat
It's
that.
good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get you back on the show then for that Baltimore Atlanta game, if that's
Oh
possible.
yeah, I'll be on.
Be better because
that's
I'll
the
be in
thing.
Baltimore. You'll be in Baltimore. We can just do the
Yeah.
show down there in Baltimore.
That's
man.
what I'm saying. We might as well do the show together. I'll be down there.
Nice.
I want to
Nice.
come to the game. I want to come to the game too. You know what? I'm gonna try to look up tickets right now. You got me waiting to look up some tickets because that's a 1 o'clock game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to do
what's the weather?
anything.
What the weather might be like in December? Baltimore. Yeah, Blue Man.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be cold.
Okay.
It's probably gonna be cold. You gotta dress nicely for those December games in Baltimore because it gets real cold. It's like blustery. It's usually windy. Sometimes, yeah. So like this is the thing. Baltimore is weird because it like we get like little spurts of snow from like I want to say, what is it, October to about December, and then like January and February is when it really snows in Baltimore. That's when you get like sometimes like 10 inches of snow. And that's the main reason why I tell everybody, I was like, we're the North, because in the South it doesn't snow that much. Like in Virginia, my family in Virginia and Norfolk, they don't get snow like that. And they're only 4 hours away from us. So, for us to be getting as much snow as we do in Baltimore, it has to be the North, right? That's my thought process anyway.
I know it's gonna be cold. The Falcons gonna have to do something because we're a damn dome team. Saw we went to Buffalo last year. That shit was ugly.
Look, I'll tell you one thing: if Desmond Ridder's playing by that time, he might be all right though, because he played in Cincinnati, and Cincinnati is cold.
Yeah.
So
Cincinnati is real cold.
The Desmond Ridder topic has came up, but that's for another episode because we got so much to discuss when it comes to Desmond Ridder. I think Mariota will start, and then hopefully he doesn't get injured. He can give us a little bit of something this season, and then we can get ready to see Desmond maybe, play a couple plays every now and then. Kind of like how they did with Trey Lance, but gets a little bit more. I want them to operate more with Desmond Ridder, giving him to a lot more second down situations, second quarter, third quarter. Don't just bring him in, fourth quarter when we're down, 14 points and Mariota's not doing it. I want to see him, trickle him in a little bit. Week 1 against the Saints, we're beating them by 14, 17 points going into the fourth quarter. Bring him in the game. Be perfect to see that. Boo Man, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
Got any questions for Kyle? We about to go ahead and wrap this up here quickly.
Man, y'all pretty much I literally was listening the whole time. I had to cook, but y'all pretty much attacked everything. I just want to know what kind of motor he was gonna have. He's a high motor guy. I definitely want to know what his struggles were, and he was dead on with, him letting lineman get in the inside of him. But yeah, I mean, he answered everything well, I think. And this is the conversation we had before he got on about me believing you said he's a 4-5 sack guy. I think he's gonna get a lot more only because they have Lorenzo Carter as their number 1 in Atlanta. And with DP,
No, I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
Yeah, Lorenzo Carter too as well.
Yeah, I think Lorenzo Carter's gonna get a lot more attention than Ebiketie, and then with Ebiketie being a tackle for loss guy, it's gonna be between him and Grady Jarrett to see who's gonna be, number 1 tackle for loss guy. Because if you free Grady Jarrett, you're still in a good scenario when it comes to, trying to get to the quarterback. So, I'm sitting here watching his highlights now.
Oh yeah.
What game is that? That's the game versus.
This is like That's not Temple. That's Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah, he was making Indiana look foolish. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah, he's a maniac, man. So yeah, I mean, who's like I said the other day, who's defensive player of the year last year? The rookie defensive player of the year.
Michael Parsons.
Oh, Michael Parsons, right? And if you
and
look
that's
at
why
how
I keep
much,
telling everybody those Penn State defensive players, yeah. it could be Ebiketie, it could be Jaquan Brisker, you know.
Yuri
they got
Gross-Matos.
dogs.
He was also on the team too
Yeah.
as well, right?
yeah,
Yep.
oh yeah. So yeah, man. Dude,
Check it over here.
I appreciate you coming in. I mean, I'm just saying I appreciate Kyle Andrews coming in and blessing our podcast with some knowledge and everything. So yeah, I look forward to having another show with you, and hopefully we all can meet up. Especially since you haven't been to Atlanta's new stadium. So
yeah, I got to come down, especially for I want to come down for a soccer game. I heard about Atlanta United.
Yeah.
I heard there's a movie down there, so I got to be down there.
Yeah, I can. Bootman can agree with this.
Yeah.
I can look out for you when you come down here for a soccer game. So
I come down.
You
for
let me know when
basketball,
you're
too, for sure.
showing up for a soccer game. Let's check a United schedule and give me a heads up, and I'll definitely get you situated to come down here to the game and put you one of the best seats in the house.
That'd be cool with me.
Big Bootman knows about that as well.
Yeah, he's good. He's a man in there.
Real quick to the chat, Kyle. Somebody wants to know. Would love to hear your response on how Arnold explodes off the line.
So, number one, this is the biggest thing about Arnold coming off the line. He is fast. He's very fast, and like I said, if sometimes if guys get their hands on the inside of him, he'll be in trouble. But thing is, he's so fast that he's getting off the line. He's running around guys, and then he's coming back upstream to grab the quarterback. So, even if you're trying to climb the pocket, he's getting to you. It's like you could do anything in your power to try to stop him from getting to try to run to the opposite side. He's chasing after you. He's the type of guy that's going to pursue you. And that explosion, that's what's going to get him a really good, that's going to get him good positioning as a pass rusher. And then as a run stopper, the thing is, like I said, it works the exact same way for him. He's the type of guy that, a guy might get half a yard, but he's right there. He's on his legs. He's grabbing him by the legs. By
Them
the time
tackles for loss mean something.
Yep. And then the thing is, even if it's not a tackle for loss, if it's second down and they're trying to run a draw play because they see something they might see, they're spaced out because it's a DMP's defense, so kind of spaces gaps out sometimes.
Yep.
And lets the linebackers roam. But that's the thing. I'll tell you right now, he's gonna run right past those dudes, and he's gonna run right up the middle and attack, or he's gonna run around and he's gonna attack, and he's gonna be able to get the guys. So the explosion is gonna come in handy. He's one of the quickest guys I've seen, and his hand placement. If you ever watch some of the old guys, like I remember I used to watch, Marcellus Wiley back when he played with San Diego, and Marcellus, his hands, you can always see him doing that wax on, wax off, Mr. Miyagi type of deal. And he would just sit there, knock people's hands out of the way. When I watch Arnold Ebiketie, he looks like a shorter Marcellus Wiley sometimes with his hand placement. Like it's just, karate chop here, wax on, wax off right here.
Yeah,
then
skill moves as well now.
Yep.
He's been working on the skill moves too.
Oh, yeah. And then, like I said, he's quick. He's quick. He's going to be able, like I said, those spins. There's another thing I saw Marcellus Wiley do a lot. And then I saw, the swim moves. That's the thing. Usually as a shorter guy, you're not doing those as much, but I've seen him do it. I've seen him hit people with the swim move. But, he's got it all in his arsenal. And that's something that, you all should expect to see in Atlanta. And like I said, just get your popcorn ready because it's gonna be a show. It's gonna be a show watching him play.
I'm with it. One more hot take here on the question. Dave asked, "Can Ebiketie play with his hands in the dirt?" You mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, please just elaborate on that too as well.
They played in a 4-3 defense,
Mm-hmm.
So you already know what he was doing most of the time. He mostly had his hand in the dirt. That's what he does best, truthfully. If you put his hand in the dirt, it's like, I was thinking about when Dean Pease had Suggs.
Mm-hmm.
And Suggs was a natural, like when he was at Arizona State, he was a DN. They took him and they were like, all right, you're going to outside linebacker when you get in the league because it's a 3-4 defense now with the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when Suggs came back over that injury, I want to say, I'm trying to remember, I think it was 2012. He came back after he got injured in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And, Suggs had a heck of a season.
He did.
It's like he came back in 2012. I know not the 2012 season, but that 2013 season, he got hurt. But 2013, he had 10 sacks. And then 2014, these were all with Dean Pease. So he had some really good seasons with Dean Pease. He actually had that 2011 season. I know that was with Pagano.
Mm-hmm.
That was his highest sack total of 14. And, he was playing mostly outside linebacker. But the thing was, they had his hand in the dirt. Most of his sack came with the hand in the dirt. And if you could do that with Ebiketie, if Pease is looking at Ebiketie and he's like, dang, I could make him the next Suggs. If you have him thinking like that, if you have get the, the little hamster wheel spinning, I'm not trying to call Pease stupid, but like you get that wheel spinning in your head and you're like, he might be able to do the same thing I had Terrell Suggs do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying he's going to be Terrell Suggs, but I'm saying like those
That's how
body
Dean
types
Pease
are
is thinking
similar
right now.
Yeah, those
Mm-hmm.
body types are real similar, and Suggs was 6'3", 265. Ebiketie, I'm
He's
trying to remember.
right
He's
there.
6 foot.
He's
Yeah, he's 6'3",
250.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
250. He's listed as 256 now, so he bulked up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But he's only gonna get stronger, man. He's only gonna get stronger. That his hand, when he's got his hand in the dirt, and his leg, like I said, his legs have gotten bigger. So we're talking about, year one, you hit that rookie wall. Sometimes it's a problem, but you hit year two, and then things come in differently, and you got the NFL regimen for a full season.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's gonna come back the next year. Maybe he might be 10 pounds heavier, just muscle, but he keeps the speed.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's used to that. And as a younger guy, you could get away with having a little bit more body weight and then having the speed too.
Mm-hmm.
So he could do it. And that's what I'm expecting to see from him. I'm expecting to see, a season where, it might be some growing pains just because
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
But that next season, his sophomore year, yeah, be prepared. He's the type of guy that I think, like I said, I see 10 sacks from him at least by his second season. And I think he can do it. I think like I said, I think his ceiling is 13 sacks, but I could see him regularly putting up 10 sacks a season. A la, it's another guy. Look at Matt Judon. Matt Judon was a later round pick.
From the Ravens as well.
Yeah. And Matt Judon actually was a little bit bigger than Suggs weight-wise. But Matt Judon, when he was with the Ravens, most of the time, Pease was there for a while. I mean, for those first 2 years that he was there. And, he actually had 8 sacks his second season under Pease. He had 4 sacks the year before, but they also had way more, defensive ends and outside linebackers and guys putting their hands in the dirt. So if he's doing that with all those other guys and he has to share and split reps with guys, I'm looking at Ebiketie and I'm like, the talent based on, like, Matt Judon was great his rookie year, and he definitely shouldn't have been at Grand Valley State. I could tell you that right now. Should have been at LSU or something. But I'm looking at Ebiketie and I'm like, he is, as I like Matt Judon coming out of college, but I look at Arnold Ebiketie and I'm like, that dude is just as talented, if not more, right now, coming out of college, and more refined too, because he played at Penn State versus Grand Valley State. So he's playing against better talent, and he's dominating against better talent. So I'm looking at him coming into the league, and I'm like, he should at least have that first season, like I said, 5-6 sacks, and really more when he comes back in the year after. I think, like I said, I think this guy is at his best at 13 sack, 14. I mean, he could get 13, 14 sacks. He's that kind of guy if he puts his mind to it.
5-6 sacks for a rookie is pretty good, especially with the Falcons position. The teams that we played this season, I mean, the schedule is pretty tough. It's not that easy for the Falcons. With the Saints, the Rams week 2, Seattle kind of got like a little cakewalk right there. But then you got the Browns, the Bucks, the Bengals. So, of course, you got the Chargers down the line too as well. You got the Cardinals, Bucks again. So these are some opportunities for, Dr. Arnold to show the NFL. As a rookie, if he can get 5-6 sacks, that's decent. You've challenged yourself against these offensive linemen to know that the season after, you either got to get bigger, you got to get quicker, you got to get a better technique, a better pass rush skill, something. But in your first year going into your second year, what adjustment you have to make to be better. And still with 5-6 sacks, Bodie, that's pretty good, Bodie. What you think about that one?
Oh, you can't beat it, man. You can't beat it. Yeah, man, I'm just excited. I get more and more excited. Especially after I watch the tape and stuff. I'm probably gonna go watch tape after this. More tape just to get more excited. But yeah,
Boo man got me on it. I gotta go watch some more tape now.
Yeah, gotta go watch some more tape.
I just wanted to feel it in my bones again.
Kyle, we appreciate you, man. Thank you
so
much.
Y'all too.
Yeah, thank you
for blessing us with your knowledge, and you definitely did bless us with your knowledge, not only of Dr. Arnold, but some more about DMPs too as well, with the scheme that he wants, the players that he likes in his scheme. I mean, Falcon fans can talk about it all day, but to hear it from somebody who's, you can say, lived it. I mean, from being over there, being so close to the Ravens, seeing how they coached the team, being so close to Penn State, seeing how they coached the team. We take your word for it. You feel what I'm saying? And to hear some of the strengths that you said about Dr. Arnold, that has me ready to know that this guy can probably, hopefully win Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie. Hopefully.
I hope so.
Michael Parsons, I mean, nobody expected when he got into the league to do it. Dr. Arnold can't do it. It's an opportunity.
Well, I'll throw a little something out there. I expected Michael Parsons to do it.
You did?
he was a problem. Michael Parsons was the truth when he came in. It was either, I was thinking, ironically enough, I was like, man, it's either out of him or Odafe. Because and I'm not just saying that because I watch these Penn State guys, but Micah, when his sophomore year and his freshman year, he was all over the place. Like, it's a reason why the dude didn't have to play a full season. And he still got drafted as high as he did. He took the whole year off. He was like, man, I'm opting out because of this COVID stuff.
Stuff too as well.
I'm not taking this, let me just go train. He comes back. He's fresh. Number one. That's the other thing. He wasn't taking beatings like, some of the other guys that stayed. And then number two, he came in. You got him playing middle linebacker, playing outside linebacker, playing DN. He's the most versatile defensive player I think there is in football right now.
Going forward,
especially going forward, because I mean he could play a lot of positions. Every position in the front seven he's playing. It's just as simple as that. You could throw him at D tackle, he'll try to outwork people. So it's interesting seeing, like I said, these Penn State guys, the way that they've been able to fit seamlessly into the NFL. I mean, it's interesting because I mean, as you all probably don't notice, but I grew up a Cal fan, so I always watch Cam Jordan play, and I know that's gonna make you all sick because the Saints guy, but like I watch Cam Jordan play, and I'm like, I thought coming out of college, I was like, man, this dude's a beast, but these Penn State guys, they amaze me every single time they come out. They have a guy after guy come out, and I'm like, they've gotten better and better, and it seems like it's only gonna get better from them.
Hearing that, hey Bodie, we got a Penn State player on our team, so if it's gonna get better and better, hearing some of the names that's come out of Penn State, that's good for the Atlanta Falcons because we got a guy now, as Kyle said, it's a very high possibility that this guy's, he's going to be great here in Atlanta. But the season hasn't started yet. We got to get through training camp next month. He got to get through that healthy. He has to get through preseason. Get the Lions, Jets, and the Jags. Got to finish those. Then you got to get to week 1 against the Saints. So we got some time to talk about Dr. Arnold, but tonight's show has been amazing to know what we now know about Dr. Arnold. Just a little bit more information to make us feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I learned a lot tonight.
I definitely learned a lot tonight. I did. Boo Man, otherwise than watching those chef videos on YouTube, did you learn a lot tonight?
Oh, he said chef videos. Yeah, I definitely. London, please stop. But yeah, I learned a lot tonight. I'm actually excited to see it on the field now. So I just can't wait. I just want to see how this DNP's defense is gonna do, and Dr. Arnold is a great acquisition to that. So I'm just excited to see how our season's gonna go when it comes to the defensive standpoint.
Kyle,
so I appreciate you, Kyle, man.
No, I appreciate you
Kyle,
all too. I definitely do. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir.
We'll be chatting, Kyle. If you come to Atlanta, let me know. I'll be coming to Baltimore in December, so we will definitely
when you're in Baltimore,
yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We do a halftime photo too, so don't be surprised if we take over one of the sections and do like a halftime photo. Falcons fans,
Falcons fans
travel pretty well now.
It's a lot of that's the thing. It's a lot of people from Atlanta that moved up to Baltimore. I don't know what it and vice versa too. A lot of people from Baltimore that moved to Atlanta.
That's true.
I guess it's similar feels. I know one thing about Atlanta is that it's a real city. It's definitely a real city, just like Baltimore. It feels like home. Honestly, when I'm down there, it's a little different, but it feels like home. Definitely similar people. So it's all love when you all come up. At least you all won't be Steelers fans or Patriots fans. I can see that.
We're good.
Exactly.
We're good. We play the Steelers this year. Hopefully, we can get a dub there. Patriots. Those are the names the teams we do not mention here on one time for the fan.
I don't blame you.
It's been pretty tough. But yeah, Kyle, I thank you so much, man. We're gonna get you back on the show later on this season. We're gonna link up when you come here to Atlanta. We're gonna link up when we come to Baltimore too as well. So, everything you have said, we appreciate tonight. You've been spot on, brother. Hearing your knowledge, getting to get a chance to hear what you have to say, your thoughts, your opinions about this. This is amazing, bro. This is amazing. I really thank you for this, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Can we get a rise up from you?
Look. They said, what did they say? They say birds of a feather.
Yeah.
Ravens, Falcons, bird teams.
What y'all say? Flock up or something?
I think it's like they say Ravens flock or something. That's something new. People in Baltimore don't say Ravens flock. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know what we say. Truthfully, we just it's what do they say? Bird gang sometimes. That's what I've heard that too.
Bird gang. Oh, there we go.
I was out there recently and they were saying pay Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah, they need to. They better pay Lamar. I'm telling you, if they don't pay Lamar, it's gonna be pandemonium in that city. Because I'm telling you right now, you see Lamar posted at every food spot in Baltimore. That dude is beloved. I don't think I've seen as much as look. I'll tell you right now, people love Ray. Like Ray Lewis is the most universally loved person in Baltimore. I would say, but Lamar Jackson is creeping up there because. I would say like you had Adam Jones was up there too. Like you had recently with the Orioles, everybody loved him, but like Lamar, I mean, it's like every kid in Baltimore, they got a Lamar jersey. Every adult in Baltimore, they got a Lamar jersey. Everybody in Baltimore County, they got a Lamar jersey.
So we
everybody
should be prepared when we come to the game in December. It's just all Lamar Jackson jerseys.
It's gonna be. I got a Mark Andrews jersey for obvious reasons, and that was a good pickup because, like, look, that's the thing. I didn't have to get a customized jersey. I was like, all right, I got my last name on the back of it, and then Mark Andrews. I knew when I saw him at Oklahoma, I was like, he's gonna be the best tight end in this draft, and sure enough, I was right. But I got a Mark Andrews jersey because of my namesake. I was like, I gotta do it. And then actually covering him was cool too, because like I found out that he was a type 1 diabetic, and my mom is a type 1 diabetic too. And so, we had a long conversation about that. He's a good guy too. But those are the two most popular jerseys in Baltimore right now for football. Anyway, is a Lamar jersey and a Mark Andrews jersey. If you got one of the two, you're good. I don't know that many people that have anybody else right now, unless like I know people had Jimmy Smith back in the day, but it seems like it got phased out as time went on.
lot of
Um,
Ray
oh,
Lewis, Suggs,
oh, yeah.
and Reed jerseys though.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
still a lot of Suggs, Reed jerseys, still a lot of Flacco. People in Baltimore love Joe Flacco. Love
And-
Joe Flacco
Any
still.
Devontae Freeman jerseys?
See that? You know what? Last year I saw one when I went to the Ravens Rams game and I saw a Devontae Freeman jersey. And then guess what it was? It was one of his family members. They were in the stadium.
Of course.
That makes sense.
But I was like, that's cool though. And we were just sitting in the stands. I'm like, who has that Devontae Freeman? And I was like, oh shoot, that's somebody in his family.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was like, more extended family. But I was like, that's cool though. I mean, it's a lot of people with some random jerseys too. Like, I see people that Baltimore is the only place where you'll see a lot of people with kicker jerseys too. Because Justin Tucker, he's like
best
that.
kicker in the damn league.
Justin Tucker is a bad boy, man.
Justin Tucker is a man.
After
He
Tucker
saves
is
a lot of people's fantasy teams. I could tell you that.
after
Nothing wrong
Tucker
with
is
Justin
cool.
Tucker.
After Tucker is cool.
Oh yeah,
It's got to be.
cool.
You owe us about $10 million for Hayden Hurst.
Hey man, that's on the next episode of One Time for the Fan. We definitely went over the hour mark, but it's a good reason why, because we got a chance to really hear it from somebody who you actually seen Arnold play. You've covered Penn State football. You know Penn State football from previous players to players now to players coming in the future. I mean, your information today, Kyle, has been spot on, sir, and I really thank you for this. Real quick, Dave just wanted to say, during the deadest part of the offseason, you brothers pulled it off with this guest. Shout out to Dave in the chat.
I appreciate you, Dave.
Lisa, she's part of our Falcons travel away group. I'll be at the Ravens Falcons games. A lot of us are making that trip. We about to be deep, Lisa. You already know how we travel. LaMarcus Boyd checking in from Arizona. One time for the fan. Phoenix, Arizona. We went to Falcons have a pretty good fan base when we're winning. So, it's been pretty rough over the past 4 years. But this year, we look to turn the tables. One win away from the playoffs last year. We now have an opportunity to change some things. We got better in some positions out there in the field. Linebacker, I think we got a little bit better. Now, after hearing all this with Dr. Arnold, I'm more excited to see what he's going to be doing this season. But to know we have somebody next to Grady that we can trust here, Falcons fans, you guys should be really excited to see what Dr. Arnold can do. So, Kyle, I appreciate it, brother. We'll get you back on here in the show later on the season, brother.
Looking forward to it.
Also, any social media we can reach you at, sir?
Yes, sir. Follow me at Kyle J Andrews _ on Twitter. That's the main place for sure. Definitely follow me on there and reach out to me. I'll follow you all back. I'm not one of those reporters that's like, oh, I got a blue check mark, so I'm not talking to anybody. Nah. I'm talking to everybody. I appreciate people reaching out to me. Just let me know. And like I said, Falcons fans, if you're in Baltimore, and I'm definitely gonna be down there for Christmas Eve for sure. So, regardless if I go to the game or not, I'll come tailgate. I don't care. Whatever lot you all want me to meet you in, I'm there. I'm coming to the game. So I'm coming.
So we do
to the
a meet and
tailgate
greet
at
in
least.
every city. We do a meet and greet the night before. So if you're available,
Oh yeah, I'll be around. I'll be around.
There it is.
Awesome.
There it is. Kyle Andrews, CentreDaily.com. Brother, we thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
See you.
Falcon fans.
We pulled another one off.
Gosh. There it goes.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie, Jax, man. You like P. Diddy with these remixes, man.
Hey.
You don't know who's gonna be on next.
You should see what else is about to happen with One Time for the Fan. We ain't done yet. This is only the beginning, folks. This is only the beginning. But best believe I done already chopped it up with some people. I done chopped it up with some Falcons media. I done chopped it up with some former Falcons players. So I hope to make sure everything comes together the way it's supposed to come together. But seeing where we're at right now with One Time for the Fan, kudos to everybody. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Shout out to everybody who subscribed to One Time for the Fan. We just got finished with the Dr. Arnold Rookie Report. And the next Rookie Report. Get ready. Not going to drop any names just yet. But we got another rookie report coming up. Bodie,
Hey, man,
your
you
thoughts
found
on
somebody
tonight?
from Montana State?
Yeah. Talked to somebody from Montana State, and they said Atlanta. Where's that?
Montana.
Shit,
down-
he asked
we
me
down
about
south.
Montana State.
We
So
down
I asked him,
south.
I need some corn.
Shout out to Lisa Shepherd in the chat. Bodie, give us your thoughts now. We talked before Kyle got in here. Now we're going to talk just for 2 minutes real quick after Kyle has left now. He gave us a lot of information. Quickly, your thoughts on what he spoke about tonight.
Yeah, like I said, I learned a lot tonight. I learned a lot. The greatest thing to hear about it was his smarts. About Arnold's smarts and how he's more polished than the average pass rusher coming out of college. Like that, that was big to me because a lot of these cats get off of their raw athleticism and raw talent, but a lot of these cats make it in the league because of their smarts and how they game plan, and you see you facing a quicker team, so you power them down, or vice versa. Like that's a big deal to me. So like learning that, it definitely gave me another insight on Dr. Arnold. It just made me that much more excited to see him succeed in the league.
Boo Man, your thoughts after Kyle now has given some information on Dr. Arnold. The Drake London Rookie Report, we had Carlo Jimenez from USC, Pac-12 Network. The Dr. Arnold Ebiketie Rookie Report, we had Kyle Andrews, who covers Penn State football. Your thoughts on tonight's show, sir?
Amazing. Especially since that was one of our most important picks. That pick was something we moved up for. We wanted the Falcons to move up for a lot of things, but they moved up for that. So that's probably one of the most important picks to talk about on the show. So kudos to you and getting Kyle out here that even bless us with his presence. But I'm excited because I think we have a prolific pass rusher. So we ain't had that since John Abraham, and that's been a long time.
Yeah.
Prolific pass rushers. Talk about it, Bodie.
I would say nobody counts that Vic Beasley year.
We don't want to count the Vic Beasley year.
Don't care.
Shout out to Dwight Freeney, though.
Shout out to Dwight Freeney.
Falcons fans, we have so much going on, but one time for the fan. We have went over the hour mark. We're all three of us about to get yelled at, but don't worry, because we're bringing you all the best Falcons content we can. Here on One Time for the Fan, we have so much going on. Shout out to Lisa Shepherd. She'll see us in Baltimore. Lisa, so many cities we're gonna be traveling to this year. Great show. Thank you, Lisa. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Shout out to Dave. Come on, guys. Don't you see what is happening here? These should be in the right 100 subs by now. It's only in the beginning, Dave. Hey. Tell all your Falcons friends. Tell all your Falcons family.
Tell everybody.
You got to bring them on to the show.
Hey,
we got a lot going on here with
special content here.
VIP content when it comes to being at the games, from the fans to the field.
We're talking to coaches.
I'm right there on the sideline behind the bench. So I'm going to give it to you uncensored when I go live at the games. Away games, same thing too. Give you guys as much content as you can. If you don't see it on Fox, I'm going to show you in the stands. But One Time for the Fan is here to stay, folks. We ain't going nowhere. We're going to talk Falcons football every Wednesday, every Sunday, 8 o'clock. Rookie Report, Dr. Arnold, success tonight. Success. 53 subs, really? Hey, Dave, just the beginning, brother. We got to keep working. We don't force Falcon fans to hit the sub. You're going to hit the sub button. We're going to beat you up. Nah, man. People are going to check out the show. They're going to tune in. They're going to subscribe when they want to subscribe. But trust me, what we have going on for One Time for the Fan this season, this is just the beginning. Me, Bodie, and Boo Man talk all the time. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, we're humble for the 53 subs, man. We
started with 4.
Was that? You started with 4? Yeah.
Started with 4.
Yeah, and
Draft
we're humble to grow, man. We're going to grow, and we're going to grow exponentially. I mean, I'm just humble to be here and be talking about my favorite team, man. It's just a blessing, and we'll get people in here. We'll get them on our side. It's always tough in the beginning, but We working good. We doing good. All of us are doing good.
I'm going to guess and say every Falcons fan who did a podcast or any Falcons fan who did something from the beginning, it always starts from the beginning. You know, it's just not a big jump overnight. But we have so much going on here for One Time for the Fans. Shout out to all the other podcasts. Shout out to everybody who's doing their thing. A lot of people have been doing this since 2015, 16.
Yeah.
We literally just started this year. You feel me? So we're just getting underway. But we have so much in the store this season on One Time for the Fan. Upcoming events, Wednesday show, Bodie's Breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
We are back again
Mm-hmm.
with another Bodie's Breakdown this Wednesday. Of course, we're going to have some content to talk to you guys about. Falcons do anything? We'll discuss it. Outside of Bodie's Breakdown, we got a show lined up for y'all. We're not going to give it away just yet. Next week, Sunday, got another episode of One Time for the Fan. Next week, Wednesday, Thomas Scott from the Rise Up Tour will be here to talk to us about the bus trips. The buses are filling up, folks. We have a bus going to Carolina for the Falcons-Carolina Thursday night game. One Time for the Fan, Rise Up Tour. There's a bus going to Carolina. The bus is filling up. We got a bus going to Tampa for the October game. Tom's going to jump in here and talk to us about it. Falcon fans, we have so much going on this season. Just tune in. Stay prepared. Stay tuned for what we have to bring y'all. We got a lot to bring y'all. Bodie, any shout-outs you have for tonight? I know a lot tonight was just sitting back listening to what Kyle had to say, because when he's giving you information like that, man, I was over here damn taking notes.
Oh, yeah. So, absolutely. I was soaking it all in.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to Kyle Andrews for showing, coming on the podcast, showing us love and just giving us some exclusive insight that you cannot get on any other podcast but One Time for the Fan.
We in the house right now. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Exclusive.
We're in the house.
Shout out for that.
Once we get outside, you ain't see nothing.
Shout out Boo man. Shout out, man. You just holding it down, bro. Shout out to Jack, man. We in here. Shout out to the Falcons fans. Shout out to the Falcons. That's why we here, man.
So,
one love, bro.
Because of a situation like this, when we go over that hour mark, and it's now an hour and 45 minutes, and we try to keep it within the hour, we have another segment coming up that we're going to start doing. Because we go over the hour mark, we just decided the other day, hey, why don't we create something new for Falcon fans to enjoy? Because you guys like talking Falcons football. So stay tuned in. Tell your friends, tag a Falcons friend, family member, whoever. Falcons football every Wednesday, every Sunday, 8 o'clock. But we got something else for y'all. So stay tuned. Once you subscribe to the channel, you'll see it. Join in, chat with us, talk to us about Falcons football. Going back to Dave real quick before we get the last shout out. Will you guys bring on conversations regarding position coaches? Yes. We haven't got to that just yet. We haven't spoke about that. We usually keep our content a certain way. We talk about it in the chat. But yes, that is coming up too as well. Every week is going to be different, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I guarantee you. Will you have a post-game show after games? Yes. Glad you mentioned that. One of the upcoming events is the Detroit Lions Falcons preseason game. We'll be watching the game, on our own, all the Falcon fans. We wanted to do the whole show, but we decided, you know what? Let's not do the whole show. Let's just watch the game so we can spend more time to focus on what's going on with the game. And then we'll talk about it after. So right after the preseason game with the Lions, right here, One Time for the Fan.
Yep.
We're going to talk about the game. Every hit, every catch, every broken tackle, every missed tackle, every blown coverage. Time to get critical, folks.
Yeah.
You hearing us happy now? Oh, this shit about to start. Oh, it's about to start.
Yeah. And then on top of that, this show right here, this will be the wrap-up show. This will be Sunday. The games are Sunday, mostly at 1 o'clock. Depends. But most of them at 1 o'clock. So this will be the wrap-up show. This will be after the games. We'll discuss the games here. So every tackle, every hit, every blown coverage, everything. Every interception. Hopefully there ain't too many of those. Everything.
Yeah.
So this will be the show. Sunday at 8 would be the show that we wrap up the games with.
So home games, because you can see the schedule, it's looking like, with those 1 o'clock games, definitely Sunday wrap-up show, just like Bodie just said. On the away games, depending on the time, because I'm going to be at the away games, or Bodie will be at the away games with me, we'll set it up to make sure that we bring some content to you right there. With the New Orleans Saints probably having that Saturday or Sunday game in December versus the Falcons. We don't know if it's a Saturday. If it is a Saturday, we'll do a show right after the game Saturday. If it's a Sunday, we'll do a show right after Sunday. We have a lot to go over, Bodie. I mean, it's just so much. One time for the fan. We are growing. We are growing. You understand? So I thank everybody for all the support. Boo Man, I'm sure you're busy. If you have any shout outs, go ahead and say them, or you already did say them. That's it. We good?
He said you don't need to say them. I'm gonna do my shout out so I can get back to my family. But shout out to Mr. Kyle. Came through and fuck with the show. That's big.
Big time.
And shout out to goddamn Bodie. Shout out to you, Jack. Shout out to Lil Dez. Where you at?
I don't know, man. Hopefully we get Lil Dez back in here. But I got a couple people who's been asking about helping out, being co-host too as well. So one time for the fan is growing. We got a lot to go over. But yes, Falcons fans. Lisa, yeah, we have the Rise Up Tour meet and greet. We'll announce the information soon. We already talked to the manager of the event place because we did it last year. So he's going to allow us to come back and do a meet and greet. But wherever One Time for the Fan goes, wherever the Falcons go, One Time for the Fan will be there. So Falcon fans, as you guys know, we have a little signature here. One time for Kyle Andrews,
Yes,
journalist, centerdaily.com, came through and blessed us with his information on Dr. Arnold, which now I have to go do just like Boo Man and watch some more Penn State footage, some more Temple footage.
Right after.
Increase my knowledge, become more intelligent. One time for the Atlanta Falcons. We think the Falcons are going to do well this season. If they don't, we will talk about it right here on One Time for the Fan. But high hopes, high expectations, Falcon fans. Get ready. One time for Boo Man Shouted. One time for everybody in the chat. Everybody who tuned in tonight. We're back on another show Wednesday, 8 o'clock. One time for Bodie 3000, co-host with the most.
Yes, sir.
There goes that battery running low symbol.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do this again.
Beep, beep, beep.
My charge over there. One time for Dr. Arnold Ebiketie. We had a great show tonight discussing what you could do, your impact, and we really hope that you do get a chance. If you do get a chance to see this, we hope you do get a chance to really make an impact in the NFL and for the Atlanta Falcons. Starting against those damn Saints. So, I am your host, Jack Spade. We're back on Wednesday with another show, 8 p.m. Bodie's Breakdown. Got some more content to talk about. Olade Zakia said what? Kyle Pitts is where? We'll talk about it on Wednesday. One time for the fans. Oh, what the hell? One time for the fan. I'm your host, Jack Spade, man. We up out of here. Hey, Siri. File a missing report on Des Dollars. I'm your host, Jack Spade. For Bodie, for Boo Man, Wednesday, we're back. One time for the fan.